Hello everyone, this is Senior Pro Rick Witzkin, and this is Pickleball with my host, incredible Fabian Rodriguez. How's it going, Fabes? Who do we got here?
What's going on, Rick? Super excited for our guest today. We have 2/3 of the funniest pickleball content creators on planet Earth, Scott and Isaac from Friday Pickleball. Fellas, what is up? Welcome to This is Pickleball.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having us. That was a great intro, I gotta say.
I want
Also,
Rick
Fabian,
to
I appreciate
introduce
you
me at a
saying-
tournament or something sometime.
Yeah, right. I appreciate you saying two of the three funniest guys, because typically if Scott and I are together, it's like, where's the funny one? And never, hey, you guys are funny, so thank you for that.
It's like when you go see your favorite band and everybody's like in love with the lead singer, but you're like, bro, I like the drummer. The drummer's my guy,
exactly.
Right?
That's
Yes.
us.
Isaac and I are the drummer and guitarist of Friday Pickleball.
That's right.
Well,
Somebody
guys,
has to play that
I had
role.
a fear at the intro today that I won't be speaking at all, so I had to be really loud on that intro. So, Fabian, this is now your show today.
You crushed it. You absolutely crushed it, Rick.
The Bruce Buffer of pickleball. No, fellas, seriously, thank you so much for being on. Just would love for our listeners just to get a little background on kind of how Friday Pickleball got started, how you guys all met each other. Obviously, we alluded to 2/3 of the funniest content creators on the planet. So Jake, not here with us at the moment, but talk about that friendship and how this all got started.
Yeah, so we've all known each other for quite some time now. I've known Jake probably for coming up on 12 years. Been good friends for a long time. We're all in Kansas City, and yeah, Jake and I, we used to just play a bunch of rec sports together all the time. We were in a basketball league, like an adult rec league or whatever, and I think it was 2019 when we got introduced to Scott because we needed a sub on our rec league basketball team, and one of our other friends was like, I have this guy that I grew up with that's like a pretty good athlete. He lives in Kansas City. He could fill in, and that was Scott. And so Scott subbed in for our basketball team, and immediately just we all three hit it off. The rest of our friends, we all hit it off, and really since that moment we just started playing a ton of sports together, anything from volleyball to basketball to flag football on Saturdays or two-hand touch football. So really anything and everything. We were super into golf for a while, and then 2020 was when we kind of got introduced to pickleball.
Yeah, our pickleball journey started very similarly to how a lot of folks did. We were playing on a tennis court in 2020 on a tennis net with, some paddles we bought on Amazon. My paddle had like a falcon face on it. I thought I got a steal because it was $30. It's smooth as a baby's bottom. I thought there was a distinct advantage of one person staying at the kitchen line and one person staying back. Like, okay, you get the short shots, I get the back ones. Just knowing nothing about the game, but we were out there just having a blast and playing in the pouring rain. But yeah, that is for sure like where the foundation of Friday Pickleball was started, like our friendship, and then just like absolutely loving just playing the game and being together. And then obviously it wasn't for another probably 3 years until we started making videos about pickleball, and that all kind of just came about as a conversation between the three of us. It's like there's kind of a gap in the pickleball content sphere. It's like gameplay and instructional. It's like nobody's just making like funny, enjoyable, relatable videos. It's like, why don't we just start making some skits and see if people like it? And so, yeah, that's kind of how we started. We just made goofy videos on Instagram, and then that led to YouTube. And then now it's obviously evolved into something not of what we were expecting. I will say that for sure.
I don't know. Going back even a little bit before that, 2020 is when we started playing. We played a ton for that year. Scott, Jake, and I, we got a little bit better than the rest of our friends and started playing a little bit more seriously, and actually played our very first PPA in 2021 in Mesa. At the time, it was called the Foot Solutions Tournament, and it's just crazy to see how far PPAs have come from that time. But yeah, that would have been 2021. And then Jake and we actually got addicted to golf that summer. And so we stopped playing pickleball entirely for 2 years. Scott stuck with it. He got a lot better than us over those 2 years. But while we were addicted to golf is when we saw the golf space on YouTube blow up. There's groups like Good and Bob Does Sports that just started making a killing off creating golf content. And so as that happened, that's kind of when the three of us started to realize, okay, pickleball has continued to explode and no one is doing anything like this in the pickleball space. Like Scott was saying, there's maybe some tutorial stuff out there. There's this guy named Koszuta that was putting out really boring stuff that no one wanted to watch. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, it was really just like tutorial stuff. And so, yeah, that's when we had the idea to come up with some comedy skits. And Jake, he's the one that has the background in social media. He had been doing content creation, pretty much full time for 7 years. He initially started out as a videographer and editor, and then some of the guys that he was doing the video for realized that Jake is really good in front of the camera and really funny. And so eventually he was in front of the camera and he really learned that space. And so that was what kind of allowed us to have a little bit of knowledge going into starting the content side of things with Friday Pickleball. So that all happened in 2023, which is crazy.
That's awesome. Fabian, it's almost like everybody realized that this insane sport is going to take over the world, and none of us thought that would happen in our lifetime. And in reality, watching sports that have already kind of been there, done that, in observation is really wise. For instance, I think most people know I'm a co-founder of the National Pickleball League, which is now Championship Series Pickleball. Well, there wasn't a space for the 15 overs and 16 overs and 14 overs. So that's why we created it, because there was that need. But I think it's really cool that you guys saw something with golf and that they did where you said, wow, this is something that pickleball really needs. And then in the way it almost becomes your destiny.
And what's funny is when most people, and this is, I think, why you guys stand out, is that most people will look at that opportunity and just say, oh, somebody else is going to do it. Like, why would I even start, right? Anytime you have a great idea, like somebody's surely already thought about this. Right? It honestly is that adage of just like, if you hang around long enough, you're going to outlast everybody else, right? And not only that, but you have to be good, which you guys are. So thank you for sharing that background on how that started. Where did the collaboration with the paddles come into play? Like, what was the time frame around that, and how did that come together?
Yeah, good question. So the very first video that we put out would have been in June of 2023. And really our goal with putting out content was to eventually just find like an existing paddle brand that would be like, hey, we want to sponsor you guys. We'll pay you to use our paddles. And so probably a month into it, we had grown to maybe like 10,000 followers or something. Wow. And we had like every single paddle brand come knocking at our door being like, hey, we want to sponsor you guys. Just because no one else was doing it. I mean, I think that really is like the most simple way of putting it. And so we were pumped, right? We had Vulcan, Valair, Carbon, all coming our way. I don't know who else was in there. And then eventually Selkirk came knocking, and they were the ones that offered us, as you can imagine, way more than any other company. And so, yeah, from there we were trying to work out a deal with Selkirk. We were really excited about what they were offering us. And kind of during that process, we had come across another Instagram page that was like Friday_pickleball. And we're like, yo, what is this? And I click on it, I look on it, and I see that they have actual paddles. They have a website called fridaypickle.com, which was weird because we looked up the name, like we did our due diligence before naming ourselves Friday, and there was nothing that existed. And their very first post on Instagram of like one of their paddles was within 2 or 3 days of the first video that we put out on Instagram. Wow. So kind of this crazy coincidence. And we're like, okay, well, that kind of sucks, but there's a ton of pickleball brands that are starting up right now. There's no way these guys are going to stick around. These paddles have like these crazy designs on them. Like,
yeah, my first thought was literally like, no one's going to buy these paddles. Truly, these guys will be out of business in a matter of months.
Yeah, so that was kind of like our mindset there. We just kind of pushed it to the side, and we ended up having a handful of lawyers from our team and Selkirk's team get involved with the contract just to make sure everything looked good. Up us signing the contract just kept getting delayed. There were things that didn't look right that needed to be tweaked, and so it would get pushed back a week and then another week. And then eventually we finally got the green light. And the day that we got the green light, I had gotten a DM on my personal Instagram. Jake and I had gotten a DM on our personal Instagrams from the Friday_pickleball account. And they were like, hey, just want to let you guys know that we have an active trademark out for Friday. We noticed that you started selling some shirts and apparel. Could we jump on a call to sort this out? And so then at that point, we were kind of annoyed, like, man, we're about to sign this deal. Literally that day, we got the green light to sign the deal. We're about to sign the deal, and we're like, okay, we should probably hold off today signing this so that we can sort this out just in case they put out a cease and desist and we have to change our name, and it would just be a massive headache. So yeah, 2 days later, actually funny story about that. At the time that I got the DM, I was in Las Vegas with Jake, and Jake at the time was performing stand-up comedy. He was on a comedy tour with a guy named Trey Kennedy. And I got this DM 20 minutes before Jake's going on stage. And so he's like getting ready for his set, and I go up to him and I show him the DM, which probably wasn't the smartest thing because we just got this like crazy DM. So now that's all he's thinking about during his set. But anyway, yeah, a few days later, the three of us hopped on a call, and Scott, you can take it away from there.
We hopped on the call and it was just like instant chemistry. It's like it's like we met our wives, it's like, oh my gosh, this is true love. But we talked first with Matt, and he's the founder of Friday. He and two other guys named Andre and Bennett started the company just as like a passion project. They were actually running a company called Verb Energy, which is like caffeinated energy bars. And they started that while they were in college at Yale together. And so Matt pretty much comes on the call and is like, hey, me and these other guys started this company, and like basically shares the e-commerce success that they've had. And so Isaac, Jake, and I, three guys from Kansas City, just making dumb videos. We're like, okay, so three guys from Yale that are really successful in e-commerce want to work with us. We should probably consider this. And so and we just hit it off. We got along with him really well. And I think at the end of the day, we evaluated it from the standpoint that like Selkirk is going to be Selkirk with or without Friday Pickleball. Like they don't need us to be successful. But if the three of us join forces with these guys, we could truly create a brand of our own and something like completely unique. And I think that really was attractive to us, in the sense that we turned down a pretty substantial amount of guaranteed money from Selkirk to then basically go on the entrepreneurship journey with these guys who were selling paddles that had bananas on them. So it's like, okay, how can we take this brand and do something special with it? And so that was around, I think, September of 2023. And we were officially like partners with them by October. And that's kind of where like the journey with the paddle side of the business began. And then, yeah, it was like, we can create something truly unique with content and with paddles. And yeah, I mean, that's like looking back on it now, it's like, I don't regret that decision even for a second. I mean, it has been truly an incredibly unique ride to do this. And it's like, I was just working at, a corporate job. I worked for JM Smucker Company. And just 2 months ago, I was able to leave my corporate job, and now I'm doing pickleball full time. It's like that. I could never have imagined that would have happened.
That's incredible. And to think of like, kind of not necessarily the fallout, but you saw, many brands, Selkirk specifically, just drop a lot of their pros, right? And not really invest so much. So like that decision, while at the time would have been pretty lucrative, definitely more money than you had ever seen from pickleball, I'm sure. Yeah. Just that kind of intuition to bet on yourselves was incredible looking back.
Yeah. It was probably, I bet the three of us could say it's one of the best decisions that we've made. I remember on that phone call, we went into it kind of annoyed, kind of like this kind of sucks.
Ready to fight.
Because, yeah, I mean, we were like, this is a startup brand. There's no way they're going to be able to compete with what Selkirk has on the table. Like these other pickleball brands that were offering us a good amount of money couldn't even get close to Selkirk. And so, we were transparent on the call. We're like, hey, this is what we have on the table from Selkirk, thinking there's no way they're going to be able to compete with it. And he didn't really bat an eye at it. Matt didn't. He was like, all right, I bet we could make something work here. And so now all of a sudden, that's when our heads kind of turned and we were looking at each other like, this startup brand can make something work with competing with what Selkirk's offering us. And yeah, after that, I mean, we probably went back and forth for about 2 weeks before we settled on a deal. And then we had to go to Selkirk, who thought we were about to sign this contract, and be like, hey, sorry, guys. We are going to partner up a paddle company that has bananas on their paddles. So I think that they may have thought that we were kind of dumb for turning down the money, but hindsight, it was the best thing that we could have done. And it's taken us places and allowed us to meet people that otherwise we never would have gotten to do. And yeah, at the end of the day, we're just like very grateful to be doing what we're doing. It's been a blast.
The dynamic of leaning into potential competitors and someone that could be a negative charge in your life, I think it's very wise that you guys, even though you had a little bit of a spice going into the meeting, kept an open mind about it. Because as you said, Scott, when you're determining there's chemistry in that first call, if you went in closed-minded, they probably couldn't feel the chemistry that you were exuding. Yeah. So kudos to you guys for being smart like that. I know Fabian knows this because he's a captain of one of the teams. I connected with a competitor with Third Shot Pickleball in Indianapolis. This gentleman now owns 3 clubs in Indy, but rather than us being competitors, we collaborated about ways we could work together, and we've started an interclub league, and it's going very well. And we had a troll at the National Pickleball League. We were the first to the trademark, and we felt very comfortable that we were going to be able to keep our ability to use the name, but he was using something similar, and he just kept trolling all of our players. And the funny thing is, if he had just reached into us to talk about how we could collaborate or maybe cross-market and things, I think it could have been a win-win. So kudos to you guys for being open-minded, even though the onset of that call probably was a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Matt did a really good job of just putting us at ease. I mean, like he really is. He's such a sharp guy. He's so personable. He's so friendly. Same with Andre. They're just both so smart and so great to work with. We would have been morons to not recognize that right away and be like, we should hitch our wagons to these guys.
So which of the 3 of you holds the trump card of I told you so? Because there had to have been some disagreement there, right? I can't imagine that all 3 of you were aligned of just oh, we got to ditch Selkirk and go with these Friday people that have bananas on their paddles.
I'll be curious to hear what Scott says. Him answer first.
I do distinctly remember saying we should do Friday. I was in my, I remember because I was in my hotel room on a business trip in Chicago when we had, I think, our 2nd or 3rd call with Matt. And I was like, because I said Selkirk is going to be Selkirk with or without us. This would be really cool. And I remember leaning that way because it was it's either massive guaranteed money or way less money, some equity, and bet on yourself. And I thought that would be way more fun.
Is that how you remember it?
I mean, yeah, I believe, Scott was spot on with what he said, but I also think that was Jake and I's mindset too. I think the 3 of us were very much so in agreement. I think we had real conversation about it. Okay, we're going to turn down this money, but I think we were all 100% leaning towards it's going to be way more fun to build something together, have ownership in it, and really be entrepreneurs here rather than just getting a guaranteed paycheck every single month. So, I didn't feel I thought it was kind of a very mutual decision that we were all pretty excited about with going with Friday. So
it didn't take us very long to realize that this was the way to go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And we've seen the evolution of those paddles too, right? I think kind of over the last 3 years, you go from bananas on the face to the Aura Pro. You guys have signed Rachel Rohrabacher. You guys got Kyle to leave Selkirk to come to you guys, which is a great collaboration there as well. So would love to talk about kind of that transition from where the paddles started to where they are now, and kind of your involvement in all of that.
Yeah, the mission of Friday, even like when they launched, kind of the paddles with the goofy designs, it was like they always wanted to make high quality paddles at affordable prices. And so like even the paddles that had, goofy stuff on them were still like Gen 2 thermoformed paddles that actually like played pretty well. They had like a paint grit surface, so not raw carbon fiber, but they were still fine. Like I remember the first time that we hit the paddles and I was like, these are actually better than I was expecting. But like right off the bat, I think this was even one of our first conversations with Matt. It's like, okay, if we're going to do this, like, let's make a raw carbon fiber paddle that's a little bit like higher end. And so we obviously partnered up with them when we had like the goofy looking ones. And then we started with the Challenger series, which was just a Gen 2 raw carbon fiber face paddle. And that did really well. That was kind of that was like the next step into making better paddles. And then last year we launched the Fever paddle, which is a Gen 3 paddle with raw carbon fiber surface. And we were selling it for $99. And that was like at least half the price of any comparable Gen 3s on the market at the time. And that paddle also did really well. And it was kind of like, okay, we're inching our way towards being taken a little bit more seriously as a brand. And then now developing the Aura and Aura Pro, it's like, and like you said, also signing Rachel, signing Kyle. This is like, we're trying to take the final step into like, Friday is a full spectrum brand. We have paddles that beginners can use. We have paddles that pros can use, and they're never going to be like overpriced. So that's kind of, we've tried to stay true to our mission with that, while also providing paddles that can perform at any level. And Isaac and Jake and I are extremely involved in the development process. I mean, we personally test every paddle, every prototype. I mean, you mentioned you watched the video. It's like we tested 120 prototypes. And so that's been also a really cool part of like the fruits of joining Friday versus Selkirk. It's like, I don't know if we were going to be developing paddles at Selkirk. It's like at Friday, we have a very personal interest and personal stake in the paddles that we make and sell.
And, I don't obviously know how well that paddle is selling, but I can imagine it's selling really well for you guys. But I think part of what makes you all so successful is you take something that most creators really take a very boring approach to, right? Nothing against John Q or any of the other paddle reviewers, but that stuff's pretty dry, right? And I'll listen to it because I'm a savage and I just consume as much pickleball content as I can. But like, I don't want to hear that stuff, right? Like half of it, I don't even know what it means. So for you guys to break down a very boring process into something that's entertaining to watch, I think that's what makes you guys so good.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been a goal of ours, is to make pickleball as fun as possible. Like the three of us, we're competitive guys. We grew up playing competitive sports and we want to be good at pickleball, and we play at a fairly high amateur level. But at the end of the day, it's like we're all having a fun time on the court. We're all joking around with each other, and we don't take ourselves as a whole too seriously when it comes to anything. And so, I think that's been at the forefront of our entire business model, is let's just make fun of ourselves and have fun with the entire process. And yeah, try to bring fun to every situation that we can. I mean, Scott and I were literally just in Asia not too long ago as a part of this process and developing the Aura and Aura Pro and working on some other things as well. But even just like our relationship with our manufacturer is like hilarious. Like I can guarantee you that there is no other model brand, maybe even company, that has a relationship with their manufacturer like we do. Like I'm literally twerking with like the head of the factory, and he's like recording me laughing, and we're like walking up the streets, like hopping in random like dance groups, and we're laughing at dinner and like having a good time. So yeah, I mean, we just really do like to like try to bring fun into everything, whether that's our videos or our personal relationships outside of pickleball and, our more serious business relationships, like even with our manufacturer, relationships are very important to us. I mean, that's how this whole thing started, was a friendship between Jake, Scott, and myself, a friendship between Matt, Andre, and Bennett. And we've always kept that like in the back of our minds, like our relationships, our friendships are more important than the business side of things. And so I feel like we're pretty fortunate to say that we've never really had anything get in the way of that, where we disagree so strongly that there's beef between the six of us, or there's this drama. Like, we have not had to deal with that, which is pretty cool. So
That's
And
awesome.
combining two businesses, is there a trio that's elevated a little more than the others, or did you guys just kind of all agree to be completely equals?
I mean, I feel like operationally, it's like we're all equals in the process. Like it feels like nobody's opinion is more important than anyone else's. It's like, it's a very collaborative. It truly is. Like our group chat, we joke about it. It's like 1,000 messages a day. I mean, it's insane how many texts we have in that group chat. But yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody's opinion is important. Everyone feels very valued and respected within the group. So it's not like, I mean, Matt probably has the ultimate trump card as like the CEO of Friday. But I mean, even he is still a very, very humble guy and always willing to take our advice and suggestions into account.
So people come to us and listen to this show for the stuff that maybe they can't get everywhere else, right? So I would love to hear how you guys got Rachel as a sign pro to use your paddle, and maybe talk a little bit about that period in time, because from the outside, as somebody who comments on pickleball and has a pickleball podcast, right, that kind of December through January was really this chaotic and frenzied time. Like there were so many players switching paddle brands, and that was the most excitement I felt for pickleball in a long time. It's like, where are these people going to land? So maybe from your perspective, tell us about that kind of period in time, that little 2-3 month window, and how that relationship with Rachel came to be.
I mean, it really wasn't until like towards the end of 2025 where we even like thought of the idea of bringing on a pro player. And in our eyes, we thought that we were in a very unique position to really capitalize off of having a pro player on our team with the content side of things. You've seen a lot of these brands, Selkirk especially, dropping all of their pros, and people then all of a sudden questioning, is it worth it or not to pay a pro to use your paddle? And that was definitely a question that we had considered, but we also believe that we were in a very different spot than other brands, because we felt like we could capitalize on the content side of things, having a pro player, and then two, being this fun brand with these fun designs, and maybe people not seeing us as like this performance driven brand that makes really good paddles. Hopefully that will help change the narrative. And it definitely has, having Rachel and Kyle on the team, as people are starting to take us more seriously as a brand, realizing that
Whose phone is on? Real quick. Is that you, Isaac?
Yeah, I can't figure out how to mute it. Like, all my notifications on my computer are off.
Can you go on Do Not Disturb or something?
How do you do that on your computer? I don't know.
We're going to have to leave this in.
Scott, what took you 30 minutes to decide to tell me?
I was really hoping you guys...
I finally got to say something. I was like,
I was really hoping you guys couldn't hear that. You hadn't said anything yet, so I was like, maybe they can't hear it. I wasn't
finally, once my watch started going off the same time that Isaac's thing was dinging, I was like, okay, it's got to be Isaac.
Yeah, this is the Friday group chat. I mean, that's in real time. It's like,
that's real
text
time.
Rolling through constantly. Running a business through a group text is a wild thing. So, anyway, yeah, I mean, we just felt like we were in a unique position to capitalize off of having a pro on our team. And initially, when we were looking to bring on a pro, Rachel wasn't necessarily on our radar. We didn't even know that she was getting dropped by Selkirk immediately, and so we were talking with a handful of other top pros. One of them being maybe he is the number 1 rated men's player right now. He is not Ben Johns, but maybe his partner. We were talking to him pretty seriously, a handful of others, and one of the other guys that we were talking to, his agent also represents Rachel, and so then he had thrown Rachel into the mix. Like, hey, what about Rachel? Are you guys interested in signing Rachel? And immediately, I think we were like, Rachel's great. She's an amazing player. She has a very good reputation on the tour. Like at that point, we didn't know her, but we thought very, very highly of her, and seemed like she would be a good fit, because I think, again, at the end of the day, anyone that we want to bring on to our team, being a culture fit is a massive piece for us, because they're going to be in content. We want to be involved with them. We want to be communicating with them. Like, we want to be their friend. And we felt that, Rachel fits that narrative pretty well. So I'll let Scott take it from there.
I think kind of going back to one of the things I said earlier is like we have been taking steps to kind of legitimize the quality of our paddles and the fact that they can compete at the highest level. And so while you have other brands getting rid of players, it was like this was the perfect move for us to legitimize our paddles. And obviously now it's like last weekend was the first time we'd seen a Friday paddle on championship court on championship Sunday. And it was such a cool feeling. I mean, Rachel had to play the two best players walking planet Earth right now, unfortunately. And her and Paris played incredible, but and it was just still so cool to see like a Friday paddle on championship Sunday. And so like, I don't know what conversations might be taking place in the crowd, or people watching on Pickleball TV, whatever, but seeing a Friday out there, it's like, maybe they're like, hey, that paddle's actually pretty dang good. Granted a pro is wielding it, but like, it's a good paddle, it's on championship Sunday.
I'll tell you one conversation that I did overhear while we were in Mesa at PPA. Rachel was playing on championship court, and I'm sitting towards the front, and people behind me are talking. They're like, did you know that she's playing with a paddle that's $100? And I like got a little bit involved in the conversation. I'm not sure if they knew who I was or not, but I was like, isn't that wild? Like, it must be a really good paddle for $100. Like, can you believe that? Like, who is this company? And they kind of acted like they knew me, but they didn't say directly. And anyway, so all that to say, hopefully, yeah, people are talking about it. And even Dave Fleming is getting in there talking about it. He's like, oh, the Friday paddle is going wild on a Wednesday, in classic Dave Fleming.
Does he write that stuff down, or you think it's off the top of the head? Because it's crazy.
Definitely off the top of his head.
Yeah. I think he's just perfect commentator for pickleball, and he comes up with some hilarious things.
Yeah, kind of going back to what Isaac said, it's like when we were going to bring someone on the team, it was very important to us to have like a good culture fit. Because obviously we're a high visibility brand. Like most of our brand is social media content, and we wanted somebody for sure that was going to represent us well on and off court as well. And I mean, I still don't know Rachel super well, but from what I've gotten to know about her, she's hilarious. And I'm like, man, she obviously a great player, great person, but she's also hilarious. I was like, she really is a perfect fit for our brand. And then going to Kyle too, like our relationship with him has been kind of funny, just in the sense that like we clicked immediately. Like we shot videos with him 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 now. And right away it was like the four of us could tell we were going to be friends. And we kind of just like tossed around the idea, like, yeah, maybe one day you could be a Friday guy. And, it's like, we'll never be able to pay you what Selkirk's paying you, but maybe we can make it happen. And then like, fast forward 2 years and it's like, oh yeah, we could do this. And it was kind of I think it was a difficult decision for him, because he's spent so many years with Selkirk, and it's also kind of risky leaving Selkirk to come to us. But it's like, at the end of the day, I think he felt like it was a perfect fit. We knew it was a perfect fit. And then just adding more legitimacy to our brand, that we have a top pro player and coach and content creator that's also now on our team with us.
Kyle's amazing. Can't speak highly enough about Kyle. Yeah. We love him. We've become very, very good friends with him, even outside of pickleball. Just, he's the best.
Yeah, I'm sure this isn't lost on you either, but the full circle moment of now you guys being on the other end of that phone call, reaching out to him at Selkirk, right? Like that's kind of crazy.
Oh yeah. It is wild to think about.
So I know we're getting close on time here. Rick's got a hard stop at around 1:55, so we want to bust out some maybe rapid fire questions or some quicker answer stuff. So one of the segments that we love to do here, I mean, you guys being 50 pluses have some great wisdom that you can share to some of our listeners. So one of the segments that we do here is brought to you by Third Shot Pickleball. It is the signature shot. So would love to hear from both of you what your signature shot is.
I'd say for me, I play a decent amount of, well, not necessarily a decent amount of right side. I play both sides, but I love a forehand off the bounce speed up through the middle, especially on the right side. That's probably my favorite shot. Just kind of holding it, and then whipping it through the middle.
Probably a backhand flick. I've also been loving a good two-way roll dink lately. That's been one thing I've added to my game as of recent, and it's getting better. So
As of
backhand
signing
flick.
Rachel.
Yeah. She's helped us all with backhands.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
What is the one video that will never see the light of day? There's got to be at least one that you guys recorded that everybody's like, we cannot put this out, and I will. I don't know what I do, but if you put it out there, this is bad.
Okay.
I hope Isaac and I have the same answer on this.
I'll start with a letter. You go U
F.
UCF.
UFC.
Oh,
UCF. UFC. It is UFC.
UFC.
I was thinking of University of Central Florida and not UFC.
So a long time ago, there's a guy here. His name's Garrick Dieter. He used to play for the Chiefs. He's very involved with chicken and pickle. We shot some videos with him, and he had a guy that is a UFC fighter, like kind of a lower level UFC fighter.
You mean UCF?
Yeah. And he like brought him along because they were trying to promo like a fight or something. He's like, "Oh, you guys should make a video with him." And we're like, "Sure, okay." And so we put a paddle in his hands, and I don't know how you could be a UFC fighter and have less hand-eye coordination than this guy did. But we brought those like sparring gloves, and I played him in like singles pickleball with him with a paddle and me wearing sparring gloves. And it was like 11-0. Like it's like I was trying to hand him points, and we were just like, yeah, for sure, this will never see the light of day.
Jake and I were like commentating the video, and half the time we weren't even like actually commentating. I think we were just talking to each other like, what do we like? We're not putting this out. So
oh man, it was
it was that video. It was pretty rough. We were just like, no one, this is not good.
And then I have to ask, there's a video that I love. You guys said this is maybe one of the more unique videos that Pickleball has put out, and it's almost like a crime documentary, right? The guy that played in a disguise. You have to tell me, Rick, and maybe you've seen this, maybe you haven't, but they're playing. I'll give you the backstory. They're playing in this tournament, and there's a guy who's in full disguise, right? Like pretend. Was he playing down? And you guys had played him before. So was that real? Like, did that actually happen?
It was very real. It was a cash tournament here in Kansas City that they host monthly. And, there's duper requirements or whatever. And there's this one guy, his duper was too high to play in like the middle division or whatever. And he created a fake name and a fake duper account under the name Dom Eggering. And I don't even know what his real name was. But completely fake name, completely fake duper account, like reset it so that he could join this tournament. And he has played in these tournaments before, so we would all recognize him. He wore a wig, sunglasses, and a hat all indoors and tried to literally like hide himself creating this fake duper, which is a crazy thing to do, especially when it's like a money ball tournament. Like there's cash on the line, and he's like this 4-8 playing in this 4-0 tournament. And it wasn't until after the tournament that word got out in like the Kansas City pickleball community or whatever, people that played in that tournament, that he had done this. But yeah, I mean, it was a very real thing, and Jake was playing in that tournament, and yeah, we just like could not believe it. We're like, we have to make a whole story about this. Like, you can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. So yeah, we came up with the idea to have it be like a documentary, mockumentary type thing. So kind of wild. I mean,
It was so good. Yeah.
Question I have an either or for you guys. So you're both kind of Kansas City and evolved your pickleball around Kansas City. Is that true?
Yeah.
So my question to each of you is Lucy or Matt?
Oh boy. I'm gonna go Lucy.
Matt kind of just makes me laugh on court. He just
I don't know either of them personally.
yeah, I don't know him too well, so it's tough for me to say. But
Okay, how about Jay or Pat? Do you know them?
Jay
for sure. We've shot a
Love
couple
Jay.
videos with Jay. He's a fun guy.
very fun guy, very nice, fun to be around.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know, Fabian, in some regards, KC was one of the OG cities for pickleball. The Chicken and Pickle of KC, fairly legendary. The NPL had an event where they had two different clubs in KC, Chicken and Pickles, like Overland Park, and I forget where the other one was. But I feel like Kansas City was a real great city 10 years ago to evolve with pro pickleball players coming on the scene.
My very first tournament I ever played in the fall of 2020, the round robin pool included Jay DeVilliers and Dylan Frazier, if that tells you anything.
Yep. We were like
I had been playing. I had learned the strategy of pickleball a month prior to playing in that tournament.
we were like 3-5s, and we thought we were like really good. You know, we could beat all of our friends and everything. And we saw that there was this cash tournament, you know, nearby. It was like $1,000 for the winner, and of course, all of these like pros are playing at it. Yeah.
Pat Smith was supposed to play in that tournament with Jay, but he had to back out.
Frazier, and I remember thinking that tournament, I played Dylan Frazier. It was the first time I'd ever seen a backhand flick. I'm like, how is this even possible? Like, I thought I didn't think pickleball players could get this good. Like, that's how early on we were into pickleball, and it was just pretty eye opening.
Very eye opening.
Would love to give you guys an opportunity just to shout out where people can follow you, where people can pick up the new paddle if it isn't sold out. Where can people do that?
If you've ever heard of Instagram, you can follow us there. Friday Pickle, Friday Pickleball, Friday_Pickleball. We've got 2 Instagram accounts now. One focuses more on our athletes and products. I thought I muted this thing. I'm on Do Not Disturb. Something's broken. Yeah, you can find us on YouTube. Look up Friday Pickleball. Website, fridaypickle.com. Auras and Aura Pros, they're going fast. Aura Pros are actually pretty much sold out right now, but they'll be restocked
Get Aura in this week.
The end of this week. So those will go quick, though. The ones that we get back into inventory this week will also go quick. So
Isaac and Scott, I recommend you guys on your Instagram and Facebook, every time you sell a paddle, get that annoying ding every time a paddle sells.
Ding.
You'll never get out of their head because I know it's not ever getting out of my head.
Fabian, I can't believe your dinging has been going off this whole time.
Yeah. Well, here I thought it was Rick, so I'm like quietly muting him on this side because I've got producer access, so I feel bad now for thinking it was you. My bad, Rick.
I get blamed for a lot of stuff I don't do.
Nope.
I'm used to it.
I'll put my hand up. I apologize.
It's the Gen Z that doesn't know how to use technology over there.
I don't, I guess.
Yeah, again, thank you all for sharing some time with us, sharing your story. For everybody still listening, follow us on all social media and on YouTube at This Is Pickleball Podcast.